Happy Monday and welcome to Joburgtv News. I'm Gail Fasaki with your news updates. And in your headlines, NSFAS says allocation of 967 million rand to settle historic debt as a progressive move. Eskom system improving as Mozambique power lines are restored and diesel reserves replenished. Pilot who tried to kill wife with plane in Botswana identified as South African. The pilot who allegedly took his life by flying a twin-engine aircraft into a building in Botswana in an attempt to kill his wife has been identified as South African Charles Viljoen. About 50 people narrowly escaped death on Saturday at the Matsing airfield a few kilometers north of the country's capital, Gaborone. It is understood that the man had a physical altercation with his wife at a baby shower held at the airstrip before he was chased away. He allegedly stole the aircraft and crashed it into the party venue. Viljoen was the only casualty, while the clubhouse control tower and about 13 vehicles were destroyed. The police and Botswana aviation officials were investigating the incident. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme has described the allocation of 967 million rand to settle historic debt as progressive. The money has been set aside by the Higher Education Department and comes after years of student protests about poor and missing middle youths being kicked out of universities because they couldn't settle their debt. The allocation announced at the weekend is specifically for students who were funded under the previous NSFAS scheme, before improved funding started last year. The students have not been able to pay back the money after being required to settle their accounts through their own funding. NSFAS Administrator Randall Carlson says this will go a long way in assisting students to continue with their studies. Damaged power lines in Mozambique has been restored, resulting in 900 megawatts becoming available to be used by Eskom. Several pylons from the Kahura Basa hydroelectric system were damaged by Cyclone Idai more than a week ago. Mozambique contributes over 1,000 megawatts to the country's electricity grid. Eskom has warned that the risk of load shedding remains as the system is still vulnerable. The power utility says that it anticipates no load shedding this week due to the electricity system gradually improving. Eskom has been implementing rotational power cuts for a few weeks now, citing a shortage of capacity. For the first time in more than a week, the power utility kept the lights on Sunday. In a statement, it says that several factors, including the improvement in plant performance, together with replenished diesel and water reserves, positively shifted system performance. And now here is Ayanda Vezi with your sports updates.
Thank you, Gail. What a great weekend that was, as all our national teams made South Africa proud. South Africa have booked a spot in the Africa Cup of Nations to be played in Egypt this June and July. Bafana needed a point to qualify, with Nigeria having already qualified. Bafana found back of the net through a scooter by Pesitau in the second half. Libya responded through what was seen as a controversial penalty. The Lion of Judah scored again through a corner, making him the second player to score a brace after Tukelo Ranti. This is the first time Bafana have not lost on their campaign to AFCON. Joburgtv was there at the fan park yesterday at Nelson Mandela Square, and this is what some of the fans had to say. Let's take a look.
To support our both national teams, we are so happy to be here, and I would like to say thanks to Castle Lager to give us that.
South Africa's under-23 team took a confident first step towards 2020 Olympics as they comfortably strolled past Angola 3-1 in Luanda. Portugal-based forward Luther Singh played a starring role, setting up all three of South Africa's goals, scored by Paramani Mahlambi and Tendo Mukumela in the first half. Grant Magam in the second, as South Africa cruised to a 3-0. Angola managed to pull one back through Lopez Texera in the 86th minute. And lastly, the Proteas also made the country proud by sealing a whitewash victory against Sri Lanka in the T20 International Series. Sri Lanka won the toss and chose to let South Africa bat first. South Africa made a record-breaking runs against Sri Lanka as they scored 198. The game had been stopped by the rain and the score had to be reduced to 183 for 17 overs. But still, Captain Lasith Malinga's side failed to reach the score and saw South Africa win by 45 runs. JP Dumini, Aiden Makram, and Riza Hendricks are some of the players that made an impact for Proteas to seal the series victory. That's it from me, Anda Vezi, and the sports team. Back to you, News Desk.
Over to the weather and traffic updates.
Thank you, Gail. It's such a wonderful morning, and looking at your traffic. Midrand at Allendale Road, traffic lights are not working at Harry Garland Drive. In North Riding at Vetkoppen Road, there's roadworks causing heavy traffic towards the Riverbend Road. Looking at Barclay, there's a crash before the Barclay interchange on the N3 Road causing heavy traffic. And lastly, in Florida Lake on the Main Reef Road, traffic lights are not working at West Lake Road. Pointsmen are in control of the traffic on that road. And now with your weather updates this morning. Johannesburg, it is mostly sunny at 29 degrees Celsius, Pretoria at 31 degrees Celsius, Midrand at 28 degrees Celsius, and those who are traveling to Sandton, it is 29 degrees Celsius. That is it from the traffic and weather updates. Back to you, Gail.
And that's it from the rest of the team, and I catch you next bulletin at midday. Goodbye.